Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive, where we cut through the AI hype to uncover its real-world impact.
That's right. We're ditching the sci-fi and focusing on how AI is already changing things in areas like conservation, healthcare, and transportation.
Exactly. So imagine this a world where AI helps us protect endangered species, diagnose diseases earlier, and yeah, maybe even letting you read a book during your commute.
It might sound a little futuristic, but it's closer than you think. The advancements in AI are incredible.
It really is amazing to see. Okay, let's start with AI and environmental conservation. I'm fascinated by this. We're at such a critical point with climate change and biodiversity loss. How can AI actually make a difference?
Well, one of the biggest challenges in conservation is the sheer amount of data. We're talking satellite imagery sensor readings from the field animal tracking data. It's a lot.
It's like finding a needle in a haystack the size of a country.
You got it. That's where AI comes in. It can analyze these massive data sets and see patterns that humans just wouldn't catch. Like AI is being used to analyze satellite images of rainforests and identify illegal logging.
So instead of rangers patrolling these vast areas, we could have AI monitoring them constantly from above.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just catching the bad guys. AI can help us understand animal behavior and movement patterns. There's a project in Borneo using AI to predict where orangutans will go. So conservationists can protect those areas and prevent conflict with humans.
That's incredible. It's like giving conservationists superpowers.
Absolutely. And it's not just for the scientists either. There are citizen science apps now that use AI to let anyone help with conservation. You can take a picture of a plant or animal, and the app uses AI to identify the species and record the locations.
Wait, so I could potentially discover a new species just walking around with my phone?
Maybe not a new species, but you could definitely contribute some valuable data to ongoing research. Think about it. These apps are collecting data from people all over the world, which helps scientists track species distribution, monitor biodiversity, and identify areas that need protection.
That's so cool. I love that anyone can be a part of this. It's like democratizing conservation.
Exactly. It empowers everyone to make a difference. Now let's shift gears to healthcare diagnostics. AI is becoming a game changer in early disease detection.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about that, especially with cancer detection. Is it true AI can sometimes spot things on scans that doctors miss?
Yes, there have been cases where AI algorithms have found tumors or abnormalities in medical images that were missed by radiologists, and that early detection can save lives.
Okay, but does that mean AI is going to replace doctors? I'm not quite ready for a robot surgeon yet.
No, not at all. It's more about AI working with doctors, augmenting their abilities. AI can analyze huge amounts of data, compare a patient's scans to thousands of others, and flag anything suspicious, like having another set of super sharp eyes.
So it's like a safety net helping doctors make more informed decisions.
Precisely. And it goes beyond analyzing images. AI can help predict which patients are at higher risk for certain diseases, personalize treatment plans, and even monitor patients remotely for early warning signs.
I've seen research on AI-powered wearables that track heart rate, sleep patterns, activity levels, all sorts of things. Could this be the future of preventative healthcare?
It definitely has potential. Imagine your doctor being alerted to a potential issue before you even have symptoms just from your wearable data. That's the kind of proactive, personalized healthcare AI could enable.
Sounds incredible, but what about data privacy? Who has access to all this information? We need to discuss that later for sure.
Absolutely. The ethical considerations are just as important as the technology, especially in healthcare.
Okay, so we've seen how AI can help protect the environment and improve our health. Let's talk about how it's changing transportation with autonomous vehicles.
This is where AI is literally taking the wheel, and it's fascinating to see how it's developing.
I have to admit, I'm still a little hesitant to trust a self-driving car. There are so many variables on the road, unexpected things that could happen.
That's understandable. But the AI in these vehicles is super sophisticated, constantly analyzing data from sensors and cameras, making split-second decisions to navigate and avoid obstacles.
So it's like having a super attentive driver who never gets distracted, sleepy or road ragey.
Exactly. And because these systems are always learning and improving, they're getting better at handling those unexpected situations you mentioned. The goal is to make autonomous vehicles much safer than human drivers.
Well, I am seeing stats that suggest autonomous vehicles could really reduce traffic accidents, which are mostly caused by human error anyway.
That's one of the biggest potential benefits. But it goes beyond safety. Autonomous vehicles could revolutionize transportation in other ways. Less traffic congestion, reduced emissions, more efficient use of road space.
And what about all that time we spend commuting? If our cars are driving themselves, we could work, relax, even take a nap.
Exactly. Autonomous vehicles have the potential to free up so much of our time and give us back hours in our day. It could fundamentally change the way we live and work.
But what happens to all the people who drive for a living? Taxi drivers, truck drivers, delivery drivers, what happens to their jobs?
That's a valid concern, and it needs to be addressed as we move towards a more autonomous future. We need to think about retraining programs, new job opportunities, and how to ensure a just transition for those whose jobs will be affected.
So it sounds like autonomous vehicles are more than a cool gadget. They represent a potential societal shift with both exciting possibilities and complex challenges.
Absolutely. And that's where the conversation needs to go beyond just the technology itself into social impact ethics, even urban planning as we reimagine our cities and transportation systems.
It feels like AI is this powerful force that will touch every part of our lives for better or worse. It's up to us to figure out how to harness that power responsibly.
I completely agree. The future of AI is not predetermined. It's being shaped right now by the choices we make, the conversations we have, and the actions we take. It's a responsibility we all share. It's interesting how AI is being portrayed in the media these days.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like everyone's trying to figure out what it all means. I was just reading something comparing this time to the Industrial Revolution, like a period of huge change that reshaped society.
That's a pretty good comparison, I think. We're seeing a similar shift now with AI, where it's not just about the tech itself, but about how it's going to impact our lives, our jobs, how we interact with the world.
Right. And I think what makes AI so different is that it's not just automating physical tasks like machines in factories did.
Hmm.
It's starting to do things we thought were uniquely human, like making decisions, solving problems, even being creative.
Exactly. And that's where I think a lot of the excitement and anxiety around AI comes from. People are excited about AI solving some of our big problems, like climate change, disease, poverty. But then there's the fear of jobs being lost, privacy concerns, and even AI becoming too powerful.
For sure. I've seen a lot of articles about the need for ethical guidelines and regulations around AI development. Are you seeing that too?
Absolutely. As AI becomes more integrated into our lives, it's crucial to have these conversations about ethics and responsible development. We need to make sure AI is used for good, not for harm.
So it's not just about building cool technology. It's about building technology that actually helps humanity makes the world a better place.
Exactly. And that's a responsibility that falls on everyone involved in AI, from the people researching and building it to the policymakers and even the general public.
So what are some of the key ethical things we need to be thinking about? I'd imagine bias, privacy, and transparency are pretty high on the list.
Your spot on bias is a major concern because if AI is trained on data that's already biased, it can make those biases even worse. This could lead to unfair outcomes, especially in things like hiring, lending, or even the justice system.
So it's not just about the algorithms themselves, it's about the data used to train them and who's making decisions about that data.
Exactly. Then you've got the issue of privacy. AI needs a ton of data to work, and that data can be very personal. We need clear rules about data collection usage and storage to protect people's privacy and make sure their data isn't misused.
And what about transparency? A lot of these AI systems seem like black boxes. We don't really know how they're making decisions.
That's another critical point. Explainable AI is becoming really important, especially in areas like healthcare, finance, legal decisions. People need to be able to understand how an AI system made a decision, not just blindly trust it.
It's like the difference between a doctor explaining your diagnosis and treatment plan versus just being handed some pills with no explanation.
Exactly. Transparency and explainability build trust and accountability. Those are essential for responsible AI.
So it sounds like we have a lot of work to do, not just on the tech side, but also on the ethical and societal side.
Absolutely. It's a challenge that requires collaboration between experts from different fields: computer science, ethics, law, social sciences.
And it's not just up to the experts. The public needs to be part of this too, right?
Definitely, AI is going to impact everyone's lives. So it's important for people to understand what it is, how it works, and what the potential benefits and risks are. The more informed the public is, the better we'll be able to shape the future of AI in a way that benefits everyone.
I'm seeing some talk online about needing more AI education in schools. Do you think that's a good idea?
I think it's absolutely crucial. We need to start teaching kids about AI from a young age. Not just the technical stuff, but also the ethical and societal stuff. The next generation is going to be living in a world shaped by AI, so they need to be prepared.
It's like we're all trying to figure out how to live with this powerful new technology, and it's going to take a lot of learning and adapting.
That's a great way to put it. We're all in this together, and it's up to us to shape AI in a way that reflects our values.
What are some things you're personally excited about when it comes to the future of AI?
One thing that excites me is the potential for AI to speed up scientific discovery. AI can analyze massive amounts of data, find patterns, and come up with hypotheses that humans might never think of. It could lead to breakthroughs in medicine materials, science, energy, all sorts of things.
So it's like having a superpowered research assistant that can help us unlock new knowledge and solve problems.
Exactly. And another area I'm optimistic about is personalized education. Imagine AI systems that tailor learning to each student's individual needs and learning style. It could make education more engaging, effective, and accessible for everyone.
Wow, that's a really cool thought. AI could really level the playing field in education.
Exactly. There are challenges, of course, but the potential is there.
It's like we're standing at the edge of something brand new, and it's exciting and maybe a little scary, but it's a journey we're all taking together.
I couldn't agree more. The future of AI is still being written, and it's up to us to write it in a wise and responsible way.
So we've talked about how AI is being used today, but what about the bigger picture? What kind of world are we creating with all of this?
That's the big question, isn't it? It's not just about the individual things AI can do, but the kind of future we're building.
Right, like imagine a world where AI is helping us solve huge problems, climate change, poverty, disease. Is that a utopia, or are we headed for a dystopia?
That's a question sci-fi has explored a lot, and the answer is it's complicated. AI could create a more equitable and sustainable world, but there are definitely risks too.
Yeah, like the classic robots taking over scenario.
Uh-huh. Well, that might be a bit extreme. But there are valid concerns about AI being misused either on purpose or accidentally. We have to be aware of things like algorithmic bias, the power of big tech companies, and the potential for AI to be used for things like surveillance or even warfare.
So it's not just about the tech itself, it's about how we as a society decide to use it.
Exactly. AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or bad. It depends on the people creating and controlling it.
I've been seeing discussions about AI alignment, making sure that AI systems are aligned with human values and goals.
That's a really important area of research. We need to make sure that as AI gets more advanced, it doesn't start pursuing goals that could harm us. It's like, teaching a child right from wrong. We have to build ethical principles into AI from the ground up.
But how do you teach a machine about ethics? It's not like you can just hand it a set of rules.
It's a tough challenge for sure. It involves things like making AI systems more transparent and explainable, making sure the data used to train them is diverse and unbiased, and creating ways for humans to monitor and correct AI when needed.
It sounds like we'll need a whole new skill set to navigate this AI-powered world.
Definitely. We need people who understand the technical side of AI, but also the ethical and social implications.
Yeah.
We need philosophers, ethicists, social scientists, policymakers, all working together to shape AI responsibly.
So what can the rest of us do to prepare for this future?
The most important thing is to stay informed and engaged. Learn about AI, discuss it with people, and think critically about how it's going to affect your life and the world.
It's like we're all on this journey together. We need to talk about it so we can steer AI in the right direction.
Exactly. The future of AI isn't set in stone. It's being shaped right now by the choices we make and the actions we take. We're all responsible for this.
Well, I think that's a perfect place to wrap up this deep dive. We've explored so much today, from how AI is being used right now to the ethical questions and its potential impact on the future.
It's been a great conversation. We've looked at how AI is protecting the environment, helping doctors diagnose diseases, and creating safer transportation. We also talked about developing AI responsibly ethical guidelines and how important it is for the public to be involved.
It's clear that AI is going to be a huge part of our lives, and it's up to all of us to make sure it's used for good.
As we go forward, let's approach AI with both curiosity and caution, embracing its potential but also being aware of the risks. The future is ours to create, and it's up to us to make sure AI benefits all of humanity.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AI. We hope you'll keep exploring this amazing world with us. Until next time, keep those questions coming, keep learning, and keep diving deep.